Hello everyone, we have to discuss about the unit 2 and lesson 3 देख लेते हैं everyday living words easy biscuits lesson 3 unit 2 year ago before the commercials and the made and bread and was the widely available and many the homemakers made the biscuit and every day and the following the recipe and makes about the 20 flaky and biscuit and easy the biscuits and 2 cup flours and 3 the teaspoons and baking the powders and teaspoons and salt and 1/4 the cup shortenings and the 3/4 the cup milk. Heat oven to the 450s and the degrees and combine the flours and baking the powders and the salt in a large bowl and mix well. Add the shortenings and to the dry and the indigented and the use other fork or other pastry and blenders to cut in the shortage until the mixtures and look like the meals and stirs in almost and all the milk and add other bit more and milk and if the dogs and isn't palatable and down and in just the ring rights and the consultancies and when it is the soft and the puffy and will roll and out the easily and too much and the milk makes and the dot and the sticky and not enough and makes the biscuits dry round up and the dots and on other lightly and the fluctuated जो मोबाइल ले जाओ fluctuated और सही रख दे ले fluoridated and the board and to ensure other fine and the textures and knead slightly and about the 6 times and the pressing the gently and with other rolling with a rolling pins and the roll and the dog and until it is about and the 1/2 inch and the thick and cut the biscuits and close the together with other 1 and 1/2 inch round biscuits and cutter and for the too much milk and make the dough and sticky and not enough the make the biscuits and dry and round and up the dug on other lightly and flowed and upward to ensure fine textures and knead the lightly and about the 6 time and the pressings and gentle with other rollings and pin the rules and the dot until it is the about and 1/2 inch and the thick and cut the biscuits and close the together with a and 1 and 1/2 inch round the biscuits and cutters for biscuits and with the soft sides and place and biscuits close and together so on and the ungraced and baking sheets and for the biscuits and with the crusty and sides place biscuit and 1 inch apart place on the middle rake of the oven and bake for the 10 to the 12 and minutes and serve piping hot. Lesson for unit 2 everyday thinking the words and will you the lend a hand. Do you have other little times and to gifts to the worthy and the cues and there are the many ways for the volunteers and to get the involved and in any the community and here the list of the typically organizations and the agencies and that are the looking for the helpings hand and have a the heart. The Americans and Heart and Associated need the voluntary and to help with the office work health fairs and special fundraising events and foster the homes for the animals and can you care for the puppy and the kitchen and in your the home and until they the rich and the adoptables and age the homes and societies and provides and the volunteers trainings and the covers and food and the medical expenses art lover and wanted the uptown museum and needs to the docents and to give the weekend tours to the fourth and the fifth and graders. The docent training the workshops and begin is till September 1. Hospice volunteer and we need the individuals to the provided and the emotion and the practical supports and to the terminary and ill the patient and their the families and bereavement and the volunteer are also the need and food bank and the emergency of the consortiums need assistances and with the bears house and office the activities and the food banks and is the open forum moon and throw sets partner in reading and needs and one on one and tutor and for the adult and who the read and below the eighth in grade level other commitment and of the 2 hours per weekend for the 6 month is the required and the suicide and the preventions the health and the death will train and you to the answer and it is the criteria and the hotline trainees and must be the over 21 and be the mentors turning point counselings and the centers and needs the adult and the volunteer to counsels aid the risk and youth the bilinguals a plus Unit 2 Lesson 5A the gardening and the project. Growing the tomatoes and is a the good project and 4 are the beginnings. Gardeners the easiest and way to the get and started and is to the why and the young plants and 4 are the nursery and look and for the pots and grown the tomatoes and the bit healthy green leaves and know the flowers and benches and the plants and should be the about the 8 inches till avoid the vine and plant and with the thin and the scraggy yellow stems and them the plants and have been the struck in there's the pot and for the too longs find a support in yours the yard and that the gets and the ambulances of sunshine and but is the shelters and from the gustings and winds and before the planting enrich and the soils and there with the compost or the well and rotted manners and after the last post plants each the tomatoes and in other large holes and the support each and plants with other wires and keg or other stake and this will and help and the flowers and fruit production and why the keeping tomatoes and off the grounds and away from the insects and be the shores and to the give yours the plants a the steady supply of the waters and don't let them and dry out check the plants and the regularly and is it the grow and pinch of the top of a the plants and once it has the growns and for the branches bunches of yellow flowers and that will allow the plants and to the stop and growing the tallers and use its the energies and to the ripen its the fruits and instead tomato plant where and the delicious and the juice fruits from the yearly and the summers and to the yearly fails the averages plant and which the spread about the 3 feet and across and the riches about the 4 feet in the health height and build the yield and a the cross of the about for the pound of the tomatoes unit 2 lesson 6 and good mental health there is no the single definitions and of the good mental health and that the everyone and accepted and show it isn't surprising and that there is no the full and the proofs and formulas for the good mental health still other majorities of the pupils and would agreed and that other mentally healthy person and feels the content and most of the times and but even being the content is the hard and to the defines generally the speaking it is the means and many the things and feeling the love and the satisfactions and joy, the freedoms for from the worry or the overwhelmings and the hardships, and simply having peace of mind. And the physiologist and tell us that the contentment and is other result and rather than other cues, and they are the studies of the mentally and healthy pupils and show for the important and cues or the conditions and that make the containment possible. Self-respected and the leaking likings and the honorings and yourself as the good and the wealthy person, self the acceptances and the admittings yours upon the limitation as the in inacceptable capable and the condition of being humans. Self control the ability to the disciplines and use the our emotions and the behaviors, and awareness of the others and under the standings and that the like you and everyone else has the strength and the weakness and wasn't to feel the worthwhile the word and most of the times and are the crucials and mentally healthy pupils and do have the troublings and emotions that cues and them the problems and but they are the realistics and understanding of themselves and the others pupils and provided the containment most of the time. Vocabulary stage in lesson number 7 and read the dictionary and definitions of the 10 and word phrase and words the choose and then the circles the word and the best and completed the each sentences. The EQ tumors and kitchens and hid the under the coach and they say did other Robin is the harbingers shade of spring. यूनिट सेकंड का रिव्यू प्रीव्यू यूनिट 3 here and the introduction to the vocabulary terms and the concept and skill you will be the study and the this unit answer are the upside and down on the bottom of the page. 12 form. Glory lesson 1. A glory is the alphabetic index of useful terms in this text in textbooks in this books and the glory and in tries and are the downs and froms the various and activities of the everyday life and the adamants and not giving in the easily and firm and the unyieldings and the bigot is the prejudices and the narrow minded and person with the strong and the only had the opinion and the expunge to the erase and or the remove and the completely and the physicals possibles and the capable of being and done under the conditions as they are the gross and the totals entires and with the nothings and taken away the hold and to the controls and the show and the is to away and often the secretly and innate and giving by the nature and seemings to have been the born in other person and the jettison to the throw and away or the get rid of lake and the lusters and dull and not the bright and interesting or the forceful and the labels and the crimes of the paintings and sometimes there the unfairly and damage other persons and reputations that what is the left after the sentence and accountant have been the subtracted nostalgias are the rising and wishing for the sometimes and that the happened and long ago or is now and the far away nurtures and to the cares and for to the help and someone's or something's grow and developed and the permeates to pass through or the spirits and through the every part. Postures rosters are listed names and numbers of other groups and such as the student and soldiers or the teammates. Being life insurance unit second lesson 2 and how much do you the know and about the vocabularies of the insurance, the chart and below the list life insurance and rate for the pupils of various ages. Read the exemplary and not under the chart. Affordable life insurance. Other account and available upon the requested and premium are based on the applicant age at the nearest birthday. Policies are known and the cancellables and as long as the premiums and are paid premiums may be the paid and by the bank draft and annually and the semi-annually and or the monthly either no cost and the medicals and the exams and may be the required and depending on age and health or the amounts of coverage and decides and about the premiums and are the preferred and rates and levels the death and benefits to the age and 95 and premiums increase all annually. All policies are the issues and the subjected to the underwritings by the ABC insurance company. Policy not available in all the states. Word search and what sevens and the letters and noun in the readings and means the threads and leaves of the plant and prepare for the smoking casing or other smell. What 12 letters and words in the readings and means the officially assuming availability to the account of the spirit sums. What 8 letters noun in the readings and payments. What 8 letters noun in the readings and means the regulars payments and made to be the keep and the insurance policy in the forms. Reading a chart. Use information from other chart. Lesson third and lesson unit third and lesson third and make vitamins mega vitamins a good idea. Have you read anything about the mega vitamins and the therapy and some the pupils and believe that the taking massive and does and the cold and the mega doses and of the vitamins can the cures and certain the medical problems and study by the Americans and the medicals and associations and how viewers have not the provals and this the AMA and one that the large does and should be the taken and only after the specific need and has been the identified and by the US doctors and pupils who do take the dietary and the supplements and without other prescriptions and should read and the precautions and on the labels and carefully and they the should be the especially and grounded if they are all allergics and to the any the prescribes and or the non-prescribed and medicines and are the pregnant or the breastfeedings are the currently using any the others and the prescribed or over the counters and OTC and medicines have any the others and medicals and problems and vitamins should be the storage away and from the heat and the direct light and the out of the reach of the children's and heat or the moistures can the break down vitamin supplement and vitamin in and the orals and liquid oral in the liquids and forms should be the kept and from the freezing the outdated and the dietary supplemented or does or those and no the longer and needed the should be the properly and discarded. Unit 3 and lesson 4 understanding the mass mailings. Retailers and sometimes the solely oriented and business through other mass mailing and have you the evers and receive other flying like the one below and read the detail carefully and to the figures out the terms and the condition of this the sale promotions. Start Mart and the certificate and valid the Thursday and February 1 and through the Saturday and the February 10% of the 10% only and the all regulars prices and merchandise consumers and the presented and this the certificate and to the star mart and the registered and the operations for yours the 10% and discount on the eligibles and the merchandise and precious and to the presents and yours the purchases, and this the promotions is the limited and to and the hand and in the stocks and merchandise only the 10% and the discounts and may not be the applied and to the shell or the clearances and merchandise tobacco or the alcoholic and the leverages and co-pay on prescribes and daily the goods and gift the certificated and the portrait studio and leverage and the purchases or the specials orders and the merchandise and the state and local the taxes and due on the star marts and purchases may not be the discounted and quantities are the limited and no sales to the dealers and for the distributors and for the purpose of the real sales 2001 and the Star Mart and Corporation registered operation and ring the purchases as and the associated discount enter the authorization number as the associated number. These coupons and the redeemables and aid the Star Mart and the locations only. Preferred and the customers and the savings. Unit 3 Lesson 5 and the practice conservations as the word and the populars and grow and so does the need and for the conversations and the wise use of the earth and resources, and here are the some simple and step you can the take to create other sustainable futures and derive less is the gallon of gas and your the car burn and created the 20 pounds of either gas called the carbon dioxide and which the contributed into the global warmings and walk and bike and the carpools or the use public transits instead. Reduce refuel and the cycles and buy only and what you the need and the purchase used and good when you can and buy in the bulk and look for the recyclings and the minimals and the packagings and the compost and organics waste and protected and the save waters and don't the dump and waste into the storms and drain and use the non-toxin and cleanings and the gardens and the product and then and when you the land is use the drought resistance plants and the eat favors and meat and the dry product and producing 1 pound of the beef and consumers and up to the 30 times and more the energies and then the producing and the 1 pound of the vegetables and it takes and 16 pound of the grain and the 2500 gallons of the water to produce 1 pound of the meat and eats the more vegetables and plants and more the trees and trees do not the then the provided oxygen and they also the cool buildings naturally and saving the energies required and for the air conditionings and be the energy smarts and aid the home and in insulated and door and the window and use the energy and the efficiency and light the bulbage and the appliances and set yours the thermostats and aid the 68% as the maximum the sleeps and with the soaks and on the turn down your the refrigerator and hot waters and heaters and sheetings and to the lowest and recommended the temperatures and light only the rooms and you are using aid the movement in the dim and light in the livings and rooms and will keep you from the runnings and into the things and if you the watching on TV and don't leave the light on what search anonyms complete the crosswords and puzzles and with the word and from the readings cloud words antonyms and the opposite word in context the prefix and no non and on synonyms Unit 3, Lesson 6. Washing your car. Cleanings and use the car and frequently and help the presence and it is the beauty and protect your the investment. And here are the some and the helpful and do's and the doesn't and about the property and way to the wash and the wax and your car and wash the cars and in other shady and areas rather than in the direct sunlight. And if the car has been the parked in the sun and move and it the into and the shade and so it can cool down. And before you the start and use only the solvented and cleaners and the recommended in use the cars and owners and manuals. some strong cleaners some strong cleaners and the chemicals and solvented can the damages the paints and the metals and the plastics and on the your car. And the first and use cool and waters to rinse and the car and thoroughly and from the top down and to remove the loose and the dirt. Fill other buckets and with the cool waters and add other mild and detergent and such as the dish washings and liquid and wash the cars and working from the top and down and using this the solution and other soft and bristol brush and the sponges and or the soft and cloth the rinse and the frequently. Check the car and for the road tar and tree the shape and etc. and remove thus the stain and with the turpentines and the rinses and of the immediately. And even if the rest of the cars and does not the need waxings and remembers to the rewax and thus areas and after the rinsings and the whole exterior and dry the car and with other chemos or the soft towels letting it the air dry and will the cues and dulings and water supports. And if the water doesn't and from into the beads and or the droplets on the cars and surface it is the time and to the wax the cars and included शायद including and the metals and trims and be the sures and to use other quantity and the liquid or the past wax and the follow the directions and on the containers or the wax coat the finish protecting it is the from the damage and by the exposures and to sunlight and air pollution and so on. Word search. What 7 the letters and noun and in the readings and names are the piece of the soft leathers and use as other polishing clothes. Unit 6 Lesson 7 Vocabulary Stretch. Get out your dictionary and the treated the challenging words in this the lessons and where the especially and chosen to the stress the limits and of your the vocabularies. Look it up. Samantha's tried to the casuals and inundate her the brothers and into doing the some hair chores. Casual to win the debates and cards and head to the successfully exert and refutes his opponent and argument and risky. Ricky was the fragmented and his the confident appearances was only other facets and the enigmas. The mountains and climbers had other highness and the precarious and foothold on the steep slope. Making the all-stars and team was the Gamute and Ekme and of the Kalle and soft wall carriers. Unit 4 Preview. Here and the introduction to the vocabulary terms and concept and the skillings and you will You will study in this units and the answer and are the upsides and down on the bottoms of the page. True, false. Word and contact. Repens project usually required. Unit 4 lesson 1. नेक्स्ट सेशन में देखते हैं.